No, I was going to right after I finished these stats. I just got this one. Are all of them good now? Okay. Yep, good deal.
Batting third, designated hitter, number 32, Blake King. Batting fourth, at first base, number 15, Isaac Mendoza. Batting fifth, playing second base, Adrian Valdez. Batting sixth, shortstop number 5, Dylan Isaiah. Batting seventh in right field, number 10, Haven Drew. Batting eighth at third base, number 4, Belmont Garcia. Batting ninth, the catcher number 13, Andy Mack. And starting pitcher for the Horse, number 8, Cade Smith. And now here's today's starting lineup. Athletics. Hang on. California State University, Bakersfield. Center fielder. Batting second from the University of Mary. Let's get the Mikey Aaron. Batting third from Sweet University. Batting fourth. Also from Regis University. Shortstop. Cade Smith. Batting fifth from Florence College. Number 31. Batting sixth from the University. Number 53. And Eli. Batting seventh. The third baseman from Franklin University. Number 12. Luke. Batting eighth from the University of Mary. Right fielder. Number 10. Boom. Batting ninth. Second catcher from the State. Number 44. Julian Sweden. And the starting pitcher for Fresno. The weekend. University. 18. And number 10 today is Cooper Riggs. And now we know that this fire that everyone can please again and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
Very good evening to all you A's fans. I'm play-by-play commentator Jarrett Smith bringing you some A's baseball. Another week and a lot more baseball. Just got done with 6 days of baseball last week. A's went undefeated in that stretch. As a matter of fact, they're riding an 8-0 winning streak in the last 8 games. That's tied for their best as they started out this season 8-0. Additionally, 20-6 on the year. So very good year for them to start out. They've hit this second half of the break and just not missed a beat. And they are looking to finish off this homestand, 16-game homestand, as a matter of fact, on the right foot against the Bay Area Force. That's who they have in town for these 2 games today and tomorrow before we head up north to Medford, Oregon to play the Rogues. That'll be our first road trip since Humboldt. 98 degrees at the ballpark today, wind blowing out to right field, warm of course, but thankfully sun's going down so it's not overhead and feels a bit cooler than you'd think. We'll get into that lineup when we have the chance, but at the very least, we'll tell you who that starting pitcher is on the mound. It is Gio Casas from Regis University, his 3rd start of this season, and will be his 7th appearance overall. No more waiting. We're ready for some baseball. Force are up to bat first, and King, the center fielder, leads things off. First pitch from Casas, misses low and away. Comes back high outside, gets the corner 1-1. Taking a peek at Casas' season so far, as mentioned, this is his 3rd start on the year as he breaks in strike 2. 18 strikeouts to 9 walks. That is 2-to-1 strikeout ratio, but the ERA has been quite impressive throughout those innings he's pitched. 20 innings of work, as a matter of fact. Only 3 earned runs, 5 runs total, and that equates to 1.35 ERA. Chopped at foul, keeps it alive, 2-2. A's looking to Casas to keep the good times rolling there on the mound. It's been really good stuff from that starting pitching staff recently for the A's. That one misses inside, full count. Pitching staff including Casas on the mound right now, Cooper King, Ryan Weller, Jared Sawyer. Jared Sawyer is not with the team anymore, though. His time is done as that one's hit up the middle for a base hit. But anyway, Sawyer did some great stuff while he was with us this summer, and happy to have his services, but still very capable people. We've had Cal Noonan come in and start and do very well. And Nathan Carrillo also earlier this year was doing really well. Unfortunately, shoulder is bugging him, and don't believe we'll be seeing him again this season. So leadoff single here for the Force gets King at first, and first pitch into the new batter Bolden in there for a strike. Bolden has the duties out in left field today. Slider breaks way off the plate. Rodriguez gets it before it gets past him. One pitch, tries another slider. That one breaks away again. Bolden able to have discipline there at the plate to work it to 2-1. Time called by the umpire signals that it was on his own behalf. Back into it now. Casas set on the mound, comes home 2-1, low and outside. Works 3-run down the pipe, fouled into the screen. Count goes full. Cal Noonan goes out to retrieve the foul ball. Interesting potential here with 3-2. Could be a walk, could be a ground ball double play. Might be a ground ball double play. Casas up the middle, throws it offline of George Smith, and it goes into center field. So what could have been 2 outs turns into no outs there on an errant throw from Casas. And runners are now at first and second with no down. So that'll be error charged to Casas, and now he's in a bit of a jam here to start his appearance today. First 2 batters reaching base, and that brings up the 3-hole hitter DH King. Ball at the foot of Rodriguez, scrambling around to find it, but runners don't go anywhere on that. One 0 down the pipe, fouled into the stands. It was just a quick mention. I typed it in the comments. We're having a little bit of connectivity issues at the beginning of this stream, but looks like it's pretty stable now. But we'll just keep an eye on that because we do have the visiting team, the Force. This one nails his bat, I believe. Wow. That was going straight for King's head, and he ducked but didn't drop the bat, so it goes off the bat for a foul ball. Wow. That was looking scary for a second. Thankfully, didn't nail him in the helmet or the face. Anyways, this one spiked back to the screen, and Rodriguez is going to run after it. Goes towards the Forces on deck, circle runners at second and third. So tough situation gets even tougher for Casas. He's got 2 runners in scoring position, no down, or none out, I should say. 2-2, pitch on the way in the dirt. Rodriguez stops this one this time. The count runs full. Corner infielders on the grass to try and stop anything and cut the runner down at home. This is up the middle. George Smith's going to take this over to first. Crystal has to pick it out of the dirt, gets it in time, out number 1, but that will cash in the game's first run. King comes to score 1-0 Force.
At first baseman, 68, Isaac Mendoza.
So that's an RBI on the sack, ground out for King. There's 2 Kings on the team, by the way. Now the cleanup hitter, Mendoza, the first baseman, takes that one outside. Bolden moves on to third, but from that, so just runner on third now. Chopped on the ground, but it is in foul territory. Yep, good connection for now. Good to see. I forgot I was going to finish my point. The visiting team is also doing their own stream, so we're going to be sharing a Wi-Fi network, so hopefully that won't cause any issues. Happy for good connection at the moment. We've had those gremlins in the past this season. Nice swing and miss on the curveball there. 1-2. Swing and a miss yet again at his back foot. And that cuts down Mendoza, 2 down. First strikeout for Casas. And he is wasting no time. He is set on the rubber, ready for the next batter, Valdez. First pitch down the pipe. Grounded to Luke Navad at third. Throws it on to first in time. That will end the inning. A little bit of trouble earlier for Casas and the A's on the mound there. 1 run does come in to score, but limits the damage. A's looking to bounce back immediately in the bottom of the first. Sorry for snapping, dude. I didn't know how to get your I didn't know how to get your attention with me talking on the mic. How you guys doing? All right, bottom of the first, about to start. Let's get on the mics real quick before the first batter of the game comes up. That's going to be Tyson Miller. We're used to seeing him lead things off. He's got a good swing of the bat. He'll be in center field, batting second. Mikey Ramirez in left, batting third. Ethan Wood, he is the DH today. We usually see him at first, but DH is perfectly fine for him as he could swing that stick as well. Cleanup, George Smith at shorts. Fifth, Parker Crystal has first base duties today, batting sixth. Is Aiden Perry at second. Seventh, Luke Nevad at the hot corner. Eighth, Luke Reed is in right field. And batting ninth, Julian Rodriguez. Early on here for Miller, 1-1 count. Taking a look at his season stats, 18 games played as he takes that low for a strike, 1-2. 18 games played, batting .377, certainly getting it done at the plate. But this is something I saw that's very impressive. 18 games, and he has only struck out twice. Needless to say, that is definitely leading the team. So even count 2-2. Now it fills up 3-2. Pitcher on the mound for the Force is Smith, lefty. Lefty on lefty matchup here for the first at bat. Miller slices this one over the head of the shortstop. That's a base hit. He's getting aggressive here. He's going for two. Cut off, throw, not in time. Lead off double for Tyson Miller. There you go. Tyson Miller doing what he does, leading things off, getting on base, giving the A's early opportunities to score. They'd certainly like to after giving up one in the first. Mikey Ramirez steps in as the second batter of this game. Mikey out of University of Mary, pitch number one on the way down the pipe, fouled into the screen. Ramirez has 24 games played this year. Team leader in batting average by far at .416. OPS over 1,000 and second on the team in runs scored at 25. He's been one of the most productive players for the A's this season. Pitcher had a quick step off there to check on Miller. We know he could fly. We'll see if he takes off for third at any point. Pitch is yanked outside there. 1-1. Up and in, gets the call. Ramirez turned away from that pitch, but doesn't get the favor from the umpire on that one, and he is down 2 strikes to 1 ball. Smith looking in for his sign. He's got it. Quick peek at Miller. Another one. A third one comes home down in the zone in the dirt. Good blocker from the catcher. Miller stays put at second. Doing the catching duties behind the plate is Mackie Force. Outside with that one, and count goes full. So early on, just 2 batters, of course, but early on, A's able to eat up some pitches here. Full count, payoff pitch, low, inside, ball 4. And A's are copycats for the Force here. First 2 runners get on base for the Force, and now first 2 runners get on base for the A's. Good situation to bounce back and tie things up or even take the lead. So 2 on, no outs. Ethan Wood, certainly somebody you want up at the plate in a situation like this, but he pops this one up in the foul ground of the infield. Catcher or first baseman going to get it. It's the first baseman. Miller thinks about going for 3, but will hold up. So one pitch, one out there, and big one for the Force, as now the double play potential is in play. So we go from one Regis batter to the next. George Smith, his college teammate, digs in as the cleanup hitter. First pitch popped up in the air. Little bat slam, not happy with that one. This is sliding catch caught, or I don't know if that fell in. Looks like it fell in. No, he did catch it because they looked for an appeal there, and the appeal is unsuccessful. They thought Miller left early. Now this is going to prompt the coach to come out and have a conversation. But that was a great catch, sliding catch by the center fielder to get 2 down on George Smith there. So just like that, 2 pitches, 2 outs. But now 2 runners in scoring position, but we'll await and see what might happen here with the conversation between the coach and the infield umpire. Well, very brief. He'll be getting back to the dugout. Nothing coming of that. So situation stands then. And Parker Crystal going to dig in. Crystal plays his ball at Wabash Valley College. 19 games played this year, 348 batting average. Something that's quite impressive to me, though, is team leading 1.144 OPS. That is very excellent, indicating that not only when he's hitting, he is getting extra bases, but also he's getting on base besides hitting, just getting on base a lot, whether it be hits or walks. Takes that one upstairs in the zone, 2-1. We've also seen Crystal pitch a little bit this year. I'd be curious to see if he pitches a little more because he's got some good tools in his arsenal on the mound there. Watch that one bounce near his feet. Smith 3-1, inside corner gets the call. So yet another full count in this inning. Do believe this is the second one. First 2 batters worked the pitches pretty well, and then 2 pitches, 2 outs. It's been a variety for Smith here. But fills it up and gets the punch out. Swinging a miss on a backdoor slider. Finishes off the threat. A's get the first 2 runners on base, but unable to cash him in. Force up 1-0 going to the top of the second. Top of the second, Casas breaks a pitch into the outside part of the corner for a strike. Leadoff batter is the sixth hole batter, Hisayo. Pitch number 2, outside, 1-1. Both Force and A's worked through 5 batters in the first inning, but Force able to get that run in. This is a hot shot to Perry at second, tosses it on to first for out number 1. Oh. One down, the right fielder, Kroom, coming up to the plate. First pitch is chopped to Luke Nevad, able to field that one, throw on the way in time. Great stuff from the third baseman. That's the kind of glove you need at the hot corner to be able to field those tough ground balls, and we just saw it there. Quick 2 outs in this inning, and Casas and the A's certainly not going to mind that whatsoever. Third baseman Garcia steps in now with 2 down. First pitch breaks away for a ball. Pitch number 2 down the pipe, chopped up the middle. Aiden Perry on the run for it, throws off his foot. That's high. Oh my goodness. Aiden Perry was throwing with his momentum going away from the bag and threw it too high. Crystal able to jump up for it and make an acrobatic twirling tag on Garcia to tag him out right before he touched first base. Holy smokes. That was phenomenal. Great defense all around on all 3 of those outs, and A's get a quick 1-2-3 inning, and they're coming up to bat in the bottom of the second. All right, bottom of the second after that exciting, I would say, Sports Center top 10 worthy play from Parker Crystal. First pitch into Aiden Perry is a ball, 1-0. Pitch number 2, a little too high, 2-0. Upstairs yet again, and Perry in a favorable count, 3-0. He's played 7 games, only 1 hit so far in those 7 games, but we've seen his glove be very, very sharp in the middle of that infield as he takes a strike there. But also, although he's not hitting, he has been still getting on base. 6 walks in 7 games. Make that 7. It's downstairs, ball 4. And another leadoff runner here for the A's.
Number 12.
All right, so Luke Nevada will be digging in, looking to move Perry around those bases, get on base himself. Just saw him make a nice slick play with the glove in the top half of this inning. Takes the first pitch he sees upstairs. Nevada's featured in 24 games this year, 241 average. Outside corner gets the call. 16 ribbies for him. Of course, I mentioned a few times last week, but in case you missed it, grand slam for him last week. That was exciting to watch. And as we saw in the last inning, or the top half of this inning, he has a good glove at that hot corner. This one fouls into the stands, 1-2. One of 6 A's with home runs this season. From what I recall, this is just based off of memory, not strict stats or anything. From what I recall hearing in previous A's seasons, is this one's laced to center field. It drops down, though, gets by the center fielder. There goes Perry for third. It might end up being home for him. Nevada's going to settle at second. There's Perry coming home and throws offline. 1-1. Luke Nevada with an RBI double. Conventionally, you would think that's an error, but the ball was never touched by the center fielder. It was just misplayed, so that'll be an RBI double. And just takes 2 batters for the A's to tie things up here in the bottom of the second. Notice I didn't have a run on the board for the Force. Now we do, and now we do for the A's. So scoreboard reflects the accurate situation in the game right now. Luke Risho's bunt puts it down. It's going to go foul. So to finish my point on the home runs, it's just from my conversations with A's personnel in past seasons, they've only seen on average, let's say about 3 home runs per year, but we've already doubled that total this year. Those home runs, and I do believe this would be in order, if memory serves me right, would be George Smith, Hayes Edens, Parker Cristall, Luke Nevada, Brian Sanders, and Ethan Wood. Popped up in the air. Can the catcher or first baseman get it? No, just a little too deep in the dugout. So 0-2 hole here for Luke Ree. Looking to try and get something in play to move Luke Nevada over. 23 games for Luke Ree. We've seen him play center field and right field, sometimes DH, but mostly in the outfield for that good defensive play. Batting .250 on the year. He had a heck of a week last week at the plate. This one gets away from the catcher, throw down. Not able to get it done. Looked like that throw was in time, but Luke Nevada able to evade the tag, and he's in there at third. So the complexion of this at-bat has changed entirely. It went from moving Nevada over to third to just getting one in play to cash him in and take the lead. 1-2 pitch 3 is laced to the third baseman, gets by his glove, under his glove. That's a base hit, RBI single. He's going for 2. Never mind that. He is in there, saved. Fast throw to get it in there. It was a BB, but Ree able to slide in there safely. RBI double, back-to-back RBI doubles. And just like that, A's have taken the lead 2-1. I mentioned Luke Reed's Luke Reed's bat was hot last week, and it looks like that theme has continued into this week. Gets a 2-strike double, that is, and cashes in Nevada, and that will prompt a visit on the mound with the pitcher Smith. So 9-hole hitter Julian Rodriguez will just have to wait a little bit longer for his first at bat. Gonna go have a conversation with head coach Ben, not head coach, excuse me, base coach Ben. It's a tough start for Smith and the force here. Three straight base runners. Perry with the leadoff walk, and then Luke Nevad, RBI double. Luke Ree, RBI double. And we'll most certainly see the top of the lineup here in the second inning. Tyson Miller already on deck. First pitch, Rodriguez shows bunt. It's down on the ground. Catcher has to scoop it up, throw it to first. Wow, first baseman able to stretch those legs to keep it on base and get that ball. Good play by him. One down, but Rodriguez does his job. He gets Luke Ree over to third, and only one out in this inning.
For Fresno, center fielder, number 4,
So, top of the lineup, Tyson Miller comes up with an opportunity to cash in an RBI of his own. Curveball breaks in there for a strike. Last inning, Miller led things off with a double of his own. 3 doubles already in this game, all 3 hits being doubles. Chases that one high, pops it into shallow left field, and the tag is from Ree. Throw is home. Catcher took his eye off the ball a bit early. Is Luke Ree hurt? He might be a little shaken up, but he got in there for the third run of this game. Catcher was focused on getting that tag down. The throw did beat Ree, but must have took his eye off the ball just at the critical point. Ball gets away, and Ree cashes in. 3-1 A's. Mikey Ramirez digs in now. This one hit out to shallow right field. It drops in for a base hit. Mikey Ramirez in there with a single. So inning keeps going on here. 7th batter of the inning will be coming up, Ethan Wood. Wood only saw one pitch in his first at bat. That was a foul out to the first baseman. First pitch this time taken for a strike. Didn't have a chance to talk about Ethan Wood's season thus far. Now we shall. That's Smith, 19 games played because of a little bit of an injury with the hammy. Hammers this one out to right field. It's going to be caught for out number 3. So I reckon we'll hold on to Ethan Wood's next at bat to talk about his season. But A's able to bounce back in a big way this inning. Good hitting. It starts with a leadoff walk from Aiden Perry. Luke Nevad and Luke Ree with back-to-back RBI doubles. A's up 3-1 as we head to the top of the third.
first and lead off the top of the third. Answer number 13, Andy. Answer number 2.
All right, top of the third after 3 runs from the A's to take the lead. First pitch nearly hits Mackey, the catcher, but just gets back to the screen 1-0. So Casas able to go through a 1-2-3 inning in the second after a little bit of a struggle in the first, but only 1 run so far. This one misses up and in. Jam shot over to Parker Crystal at first, able to scoop it up, and wow, that was wild. Looked like it went by Parker Crystal, actually got to Perry, who tried to quickly scoop it to Casas, but unable to get it. That was just a weird jam shot, infield single. So Force able to get a leadoff base runner on base. They were able to do so with a single in the first inning. Of course, they scored a run. 1-0 is the count as we rotate to the top of the lineup. That's King up there. Casas checks on Mackey over at first base. He slides back in there safe. 1-0 pitch, chopped at. It goes foul. One is taken for 2-1. Shadowline's been moving really quick. Just last inning, it was in between the mound and the batter, but now it is right at Casas's feet. That one misses outside for a ball, 3-1. I've talked with the A's players before with playing in this ballpark at this time of day. It could be tricky watching those balls come at them on the ground or even trying to catch or track them in the air with the sun being very close to the top of the stadium in that shadow line. Casas is 3-2, does not get the swing. That'll be a walk for King, and runners on first and second to start out this third inning. Already a pinch hitter substitution here in this ball game. It's going to be 33. We'll get a number for you. Well, this one's chopped back to Casas, throws it. Wow, it's lost in the sun. I think exactly what I was talking about just happened there. Don't believe we had that on camera. Sorry, folks, but that results in a run for the Force. That one was chopped back up to the middle, and deja vu for the A's here early. Casas throws it over to the second baseman, who I think just loses it in the sunlight with the shadow line there. Sails out to center field, and Mackey able to score on it. So now runners still at first and second, no outs.
Now at number 32, King.
This season's been full of surprises, to be honest, folks, with stuff in baseball I quite haven't seen before, and that's another instance of it today. 2 balls thrown over to second from the pitcher's mound that goes into the outfield. Casas able to bounce back to the new batter. 0-1. This one is grounded over to George Smith at short. Over to second. Perry on to first in time for the double play. 6-4-3 double play. King's able to get over to third base, but 2 down quickly, and that'll bring up Mendoza. Pinch hitter, by the way, that chopped that one to
Now that is 16, Isaac
Gio
Mendoza.
Casas that got thrown into the outfield was Oria. That was charged as an error. I just don't know who that's charged to because Aiden Perry never touched it, but the throw looked to be fairly on line to him from Casas. I'll have to consult with the A's dugout to see who it got charged to. 2-0 turns to 2-1 with a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. Mendoza, the first baseman, is the batter up to the bat now, looking to potentially tie things up with the runner 90 feet away. He will not get the chance, but he'll get on base. Casas breaks one in too far, hits Mendoza in the leg, so he'll take first base on the hit by pitch. So here we go. We got the scoreboard all updated here. We got runners at the corners, 2 down. And the second baseman, Valdez, digs into the box. First pitch to him, way inside, almost hit another batter. Valdez grounded out to third base his first time up. Takes that one for a strike. With runners on the corners, we'll see if Mendoza has any intention to go to second base here. This one chopped at, weakly foul to the screen. '50th pitch for Casas, rings him up on the outside corner, gets him looking. And out of the inning are the Casas and the A's. Second strikeout for Casas, but a bit of a quirky inning there on defense. Force able to get a run on the board after a ball sails into the outfield, but A's still up by 1 as they come up to bat in the bottom of the third. All right, bottom of the third, eventful game so far in this one. First pitch to the batter, George Smith, in their first strike. Just saw Smith turn a double play there in the bottom of the third to help out his pitcher Casas and not allowing any more runs. This one's hit out to right field. He's having trouble tracking it, but he does get it under control for out number 1. So 2 pitches is all it takes to get George Smith out for the first out of this inning. Parker Cristall digs in for his second AB. First at bat for him, he struck out to end the first inning of action. Smith's first pitch tries to loop a curveball in there, but misses outside. One zero breaks in the dirt, gets away from the catcher. 2-0. Cristall with a remarkable defensive play earlier in this game, twirling acrobatics to tag the runner out on a high throw to first. 2-0 pitch on the way down and swung on and missed. 5 holes the catcher. 2-1 is the count as Aiden Perry gets into view. So I just talked with the dugout. It is going to be Casas that gets charged with the error, so that's his second of the game. That one seems to be a bit harsh in regards to him getting that error, but I reckon with Perry not touching it with the glove or anything, that is why that gets scored the way it is. Chopped at, it's foul. Do it again on 2-2. Smith comes home 2-2 again. Chopped foul yet again. Parker Cristall keeping things alive. And we're seeing it in action in regards to me discussing his OPS earlier, that is. His on-base percentage has been impressive. Batting average is good, but also he'll work the count and work a walk, and he is getting close to doing so here. Count goes full. Recall a couple of weeks ago, he worked a 9-pitch walk, getting somewhat close to that territory, and there it is, another walk for him on the season. He gets to first base. That will bring up Aiden Perry with 1 down. Speaking of walks, Perry walked his first time up. That was last inning to lead it off and led to 3 runs for the A's. Still looking to get that bat a little bit hotter on the year. 1 hit through 7 games. Smith breaks in a first pitch strike. Smith checking on Cristall over at first. He's in there safe. Throw gets away. First baseman threw it low. Pitcher couldn't get it, but third baseman there on the backup. And just as a baseball fundamentalist and playing it my whole life, that may seem insignificant, but that just shows how paramount it is to do your job and back up as that one goes in for a strike. Because you wouldn't think with the runner sliding back into first on the pickoff that anything's going to happen, but if third baseman's not quite paying attention, not backing up the throw, and that throw goes errant, Cristall could have easily had second base. Smith checks over at first yet again. Cristall in there safely. Upstairs, first ball, 1-2. Luke Navad waiting on deck, hoping to get another chance to get some ribbies here. Chopped at, foul, and Perry following in Cristall's footsteps here, trying to work the count into a favorable position. Spoiling pitches. It is now filled up. Excuse me, no, it's not. It's 1-2. I put 2-2 for some reason, but of course he swung at that one. So still 1-2. Pitch on the way. Chases up in the zone. That one's going to get out of play. So yet another try at Smith at 1-2. This one's popped up in the air, and the right fielder's on the run for it. So it's the second baseman. Second baseman able to make the behind the shoulder or over the shoulder catch, I should say. Wow, that was interesting. Crystal able to get back in second or first in time to avoid getting doubled up. So two down, Crystal still at first. Luke Navad steps up to the plate looking to extend this inning. Cashed in the A's first run with his RBI double, scoring Perry. First pitch down in the zone. Catcher Mackey was thinking about back pick over at first, but decides to just toss it back to his pitcher Smith. Loops in the curveball for a strike, 1-1. One pitch. In there for a strike. Nevada in the A's dugout didn't quite like that, 1-2. Ball did get away from Mackey momentarily, but does not cause Crystal to think about second base. One, two on the way, laced into left center field. That's a base hit. That's extra base hits, as a matter of fact. Crystal's flying around third. He's for sure coming home. We'll see if Nevad's going three. He is going three. Crystal's in to score. Luke Nevad into third base with an RBI triple. And it is 4-2 A's. 2 innings, 2 RBI extra base hits for Luke Nevad. He's filling it out here today. And A's back in business, getting on that scoreboard, extending the lead back to 2. Luke Reed digs up, looking for his own RBI hit. Again, following in the footsteps of Nevad. They backed each other up with RBI doubles last inning. Wouldn't it be something if it was RBI triples this inning for both? Shortstop bobbles that one on the ground. Luke Reed's in there at first base in time, and Luke Nevad takes his sweet time getting home. He's in there for yet another run. It is 5-2 A's. Well, yet again, this inning just shows the importance of walks and why pitchers and teams are not in the business of wanting to issue free passes, because Crystal able to get on first base. He comes around to score with 2-out hit from Luke Nevad, and then Luke Reed able to get to first base on a bobbled ground ball, which causes Nevad to score. And just like that, it went from a 1-run game to a 3-run game. That'll be charged as an error to the shortstop, by the way. Julian Rodriguez is the batter for the A's now. That pitch is in the dirt. There goes Luke Reed down to second base. Throws on line. It's got him. Great throw down by the catcher, and he gets Luke Reed trying to steal second, but A's able to cash in another 2 runs in this inning. They are up 5-2 as we go to the top of the 4th. First pitch of the fourth inning in there for a strike. Casas looking for his fourth inning of work. Strike two, quick 0-2 count now. Leadoff batter here is Hisayo for the Force. This one's hit towards Luke Navad. He bodies it down, but it gets away from him, and that is going to be a leadoff infield single. A lot of leadoff base runners getting on base here for both teams, and that is reflecting in the score of this one. Not super high scoring, but for at this point of the game, it certainly is. 5-2 with only 3 innings played. First pitch, foul tip into the glove, strike one. Right fielder, that looks to be a pinch hitter, I do believe. It's supposed to be Kroom, but I think that's number 12, not 10. Yes, indeed, that is a pinch hitter. Looks to be Savage coming in for Kroom. Swing and a miss there gets him down 0-2. That's 0-3. Strikeout, back pick attempt for the double play. Unsuccessful. Hisayo able to get back in there, but Savage down on 3 strikes. Third strikeout for Casas in his outing. 1 down. Still runner remains at first. Casas checks yet again on the base runner at first. He's in there safely. This one is a jam shot over to Perry. He loses it in the sun yet again. It gets out to right field. Throw in time from Reed. Oh, it is. Yeah, Hisayo not able to get in there in time with it being runner on first. It is a force out at second. So fielder's choice at second base. That was sure interesting. So Garcia parks it at first base. Hisayo out at second on a very unorthodox force out. This one's laced down the line in right field next to the bullpen foul. So it's the 9-hole hitter, the catcher, Mackey, that's up to bat here. Casas working with 2 down, runner on first here. And runner's on the move, but he'll have to go back to first as this one's fouled yet again. Makes it. Quick 0-2 hole here for Mackey. Casas looking for that punch-out pitch. 0-2 upstairs, doesn't chase it. Rodriguez's throw down. Call is out. He got him stealing. The throw was definitely going to beat the runner in time, but it looked like it was just a little bit in an awkward spot to not be able to make the tag, but still gets the job done, and that'll end this inning. Mackey will be coming back up to bat. This is a really strange coincidence. Back-to-back half innings where the 9-hole hitter will be coming back up for the next inning because of a runner getting thrown out at second base. A lot of interesting stuff going on in this ball game, but it's been entertaining, no doubt. A's up 5-2 as we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Julian Rodriguez starts out this bottom of the fourth with a single out into left field. Good start here for the A's. And as mentioned, it's been a lot of leadoff base runners for both teams. And no surprise that the score is as high as it is early in this game. I briefly mentioned this coincidence going into break here, but it's just gotten a little bit weirder, actually. I didn't notice that both the 9-hole hitters for the Force and for, as this one's actually chopped to the first baseman, he gets the Force out at second base, and this ball goes out of play. Or okay, yeah. There's a lot of action going on. Okay, so what happened there is Tyson Miller hit a ground ball to the first baseman, threw it over to second base for the force out, tried to go back to first base for the out. Errant throw goes in the dugout, so Tyson Miller ends up getting second base. There's so much strange action to try and keep up with in this ball game, no doubt about that. So fielder's choice, and Miller reaches second on an error. And one down now. Mikey Ramirez coming up to bat, 1-for-1. Pitch slips way outside, ball one. But let's try and get back to finish that weird coincidence. It was back-to-back innings, so bottom half of the third, top half of the fourth. 9-hole hitter for both teams. Catchers ended up having their at-bat interrupted by a third out. That was caught stealing. Mikey Ramirez hits this one down the left field line. It's a base hit. Here comes Miller. He's flying into home. And Mikey Ramirez settles in at second base with an RBI double. 6-2 A's. Well, it's hard to get some context and some extra facts and everything in this broadcast today. It seems like every time we try, or every other pitch is getting hit into play, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and most of it's in the A's favor as they're up 6-2. Ethan Woods' first pitch swung on and missed. 0-1. So Ramirez alluding back to his RBI double, now 2-for-2, single and a double. This one's hammered out to center field, but probably going to hang up for the outfielder. No, it one hops the wall. Ethan Woods got an extra base hit. Here comes Mikey Ramirez home. He's going to be in there, no throw. 7-2 A's, another extra base hit RBI for the A's. My goodness, those bats are flying and those runs are scoring. And this may end up leading to the end of Smith's day, as the A's Smith would be coming up to the plate. But we'll wait and see if that's the case. Yep, ball gets handed over from Smith. His day is done. We'll regroup here with all the action that's been going on, and we'll let you know who's on the mound now for the Force when we come back. All right, new pitcher in for the Force. That is Brandenburg on the mound, noticeably slower than the starting pitcher, Smith. And George Smith shows bunt. He puts it down. Looks like he might beat it out. No, good play. Flip over from the pitcher, Brandenburg, to get the out. 2 down, but Ethan Wood gets over to second base. Excuse me, Wood gets over to third base. I do believe I said second. So recapping Smith's day here, it was certainly a rough one for him as that first pitch is in there for a strike. As mentioned, noticeably slower pitching, but it has a lot of drop on it. Brandenburg almost looks like he's throwing sort of ephuses out there, which is not a pitch you see too often. Look at that drop on that one. 1-1 is the count. Just heard from the radar gun next to me. That was 45 miles per hour. So a whole new thing for the Ace to deal with. Ethan Wood comes flying home. Look at the big man rumble down third base. That's another run for the A's, 8-2. But one would think slower speed would be easier hitting. However, for these college players, they are used to faster pitching. And also, as mentioned, these pitches have a lot of drop on it. So it's going to be a unique challenge for the A's hitters. Parker Cristall chops this one to the third baseman. Double clutches, throws it. Great pick from the first baseman for the third out of this inning. So 3 more runs on the board here for the A's. Smith's day is done. That was 3 1/3 innings pitched. 6 earned runs out, 7 runs total, 8 hits, 1 strikeout to 3 walks. And all of that culminates in 8-2 A's as we go to the top of the 5th.
There you go.
Casas out there seeking a 5th inning of work. His first pitch is up and in. This one gets away from Rodriguez, 2-0. So that's Mackey digging back in for his at-bat. As mentioned earlier, he was at-bat in the previous inning, but Garcia was thrown out trying to steal second. So 2-1 is the count now. Slider chopped over to third base, Nevada, but it is foul. Mackey certainly fell forward on that one, and timing was off, but able to get a piece of it. Two fouled into the stands. This one slapped foul. 2-2 yet again. So this game has presented little time to really look at game facts and stuff, but I'll tell you this much: have A's have 6 extra base hits in this game already, including 1 triple in those 6 extra base hits. That is impressive numbers. That one misses upstairs 3-2. Yeah, so 8 hits total, and 6 of those are either doubles or that triple. That is impressive stuff. This one's chopped up the middle to George Smith. Throw on the way. In time, out number 1. Something to note here is that Jake Maynor is now taking over the duties at first base, so that probably does it for Parker Cristall in this ball game. In fact, it does because he's not on the field. First pitch off the end of the bat, fouled to the back. Center fielder King, the top of the lineup hitter, is up. 1 for 1 on the day. Leadoff single to start this ball game as the first batter, and walked in the third. But he finds himself down 0-2 quickly to start this inning. Casas is 0-2, tries a loop curveball in there. A little too high, perhaps outside, 1-2. Swing and a miss. Looks like umpire says, yep, Rodriguez caught that, so no need for the tag. King will go back to the dugout, and that is 2 down in this inning. 4th strikeout for Casas in this outing. Avila digging in now, the left fielder with 2 down. Did have an at-bat in the 3rd inning. The starter for the 2 spot was Bolden, but only has 1 at-bat. Oddly enough, those 2 errors that were charged to Casas, ground balls up to him that were ended up in the center field, both happened in the 2 spot with Bolden in the 1st inning and Avila in the 3rd. 1-2, chopped at off of Rodriguez's mask. Looks like he's okay, though. Casas says yes into his windup. 1-2 pitch is a little flare shot into right field. And that drops in front of Luke Reeve for a base hit. 2 out single for Avila. That'll bring up the DH King. This one sent out to shallow right field yet again. But Ree able to get under it for out number 3. 2 out single there for Avila doesn't end up resulting in runs for the Force. They're still down 8-2 as the A's come up for their at-bats halfway through this ball game.
Perry.
Halfway home in this game, A's up big, 8-6. Aiden Perry leading things off for them. Ball gets the inside part of the plate, 0-1. Perry has walked and hit a short fly out to the second baseman. That pitch misses outside for 1-1. So it's going to be 6, 7, 8 hitters at least for the A's in this inning. That features Perry and Reed behind him. That pitch goes way outside for 2-1. Pitch misses low and away. Perry in a favorable count, 3-1. This one, ball 4, looked like the similar pitch that got called for strike 1, but Perry with his second leadoff walk of this ball game. Last time he did that, 3 runs came in to score for the A's. And coming up now, Luke Nevada. 2 for 2 on the day, with both of those hits being RBI. Actually, no RBI for him. Well, no, there is an RBI. My apologies. Confused myself on that. Yeah, RBI double for him in the second, and then RBI triple in the third. First pitch taken for a ball, 1-0. Pitch number 2 on the way. That was some sidearm action on that one. Perry gets down to first safely, stolen base. So as mentioned, very unique pitching going on here for the A's to be able to face here. So they're going to have to slow down their process. 1-1 count is chopped over to the third baseman. It's a fair ball. Gets by him. That's a base hit. And here comes Perry on the way home. And Luke Nevada with an RBI single. 3 hits and all of them resulting in runs scored. He is having a day. 9-2 A's. And worth mentioning as well for Luke Nevada, with that, he has a single, double, and triple. So he is 1 hit away from the cycle. That would be the grandest of them all, a home run, as that one is taken for a strike by Luke Ree. Nevada takes second base easily. Pitch gets outside, and it goes by the catcher. Nevada easily going to have third base. So 1-1 now, and Luke Nevada standing 90 feet away. Luke Ree looking to cash him in. This one nails Luke Ree. Never had a chance to get in that zone, and he'll have first base. Runners now on the corners, still no out. A lot of arms down at the bullpen for the A's. We'll see who might be warming up, who might be coming in. And Hayes Edens is now going to come into the game. He is pinch hitting for Julian Rodriguez. Pitcher Brandenburg checks over at first base. Luke Ree in there safely. We'll see if he decides to head off for second base. Yes, he does. There he goes. Throw down to second. Not in time. Nevada will stick at third base. Successful stolen base for Reed. Now 2 runners in scoring position for the A's. And we are getting close to mercy rule territory. First pitch, unable to get the inside corner, 2-0. Pitch misses outside, 3-0, favorable count for Edens. Interesting with Brandenburg in this inning. When he came in last inning, he was throwing big loopers. Now it looks like he's changed his angle, kind of sidearm, and it still has some drop on it, but not as much. That was a 4-pitch walk for Edens there. Bases are juiced, no outs. That'll prompt the coach to come out to the mound. We'll see if that's the end of the day for Brandenburg. Tyson Miller is the batter due up at the plate here. That'll already be his 4th at-bat in 5 innings. So those batters for the A's are coming fast and furious in this ball game. Long meeting on the mound, so I don't know if okay, yep, that is what I thought it was. Coach was just buying some time for a little bit of extra pitches for his bullpen. Now a southpaw looks like he's coming into the game, so we'll let you know who that is when warm-ups are finished. All right, we're quickly back. First pitch to Tyson Miller with a lot more pace is in there for a strike. It is a lefty on the mound, unable to get a number at this time. Pitch goes outside, 1-1. So Brandenburg's day is done. Brandenburg's day is done. Goes 2/3 of an inning. This one's sliced up the middle by Miller. Looks like it's going to be caught, but that's going to bring Luke Nevad home. Throw on the way to third. Not in time. Gets by the third baseman, though, and Ree's going to hold up. But that is another run in. That's another sacrifice fly for Miller on the day. 10-2 A's. And Mikey Ramirez now coming up with a chance to contribute. So I was going to mention that there was only one run allowed for Brandenburg, but those bases loaded runners he is responsible for, and one of them has come in to score. Runners on second and third are still Brandenburg's responsibility. So far, it's 2 earned runs for him on the outing. Walked 2, allowed 1 hit. Quick pause in the play as a ball is in the field of play in foul territory. It looked like a ball got away from the bullpen. Count is 0-1 to Mikey Ramirez. This one sliced down the right field line. It's in fair ground. That's a base hit. Here comes Luke Reed to score. And that is an RBI double for Mikey Ramirez. His second one in 2 straight innings. And it's 11-2 A's. First pitch to Ethan Wood is ball 1-0. Interesting to note here, there has been some action as this one's chopped to the second baseman. High chopper throws it over to first in time for the out, but another run comes in. That's Hayes Edens in to score, and it is now 12-2 A's. We are in Mercy Rule territory. However, we do not have a Grizzlies game to squeeze a game in for, so we'll see if that is in effect for this game. So sack ground out RBI for Ethan Wood. George Smith digging in. He's 0 for 3 on the day. This one slicing foul into right field. It is foul. So my point I was going to get into is that the top of the lineup has been producing. However, the bottom of the lineup has really done the damage today. From the 6 through the 8 hitters, they are responsible for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those runs. Actually, let's expand that. 1 second, though. This one sliced out to left field pretty well. Might be over his head. It is over his head. To the wall. Mikey Ramirez in to score. George Smith on to second. Another extra base hit RBI for the A's. It is just incredible to see the production they're having at the plate today. 13-2 A's.
23.
Jake Maynard in the batter's box for his first at-bat of the game, and he's quickly down 0-2. Swing and a miss upstairs. 3-pitch strikeout for Maynard. That'll do it in this inning, but a monster inning for the A's. 5 runs come across on the board, and they are up massive in this one, 13-2 as we go to the top of the 6th. Top of the sixth, A's are feeling it in a good way tonight. That is 11 hits through 5 innings of work, and 8 of those 11 hits are extra base hits. Just phenomenal stuff out there by the offense. Dylan Whiteman is the new pitcher on the mound for the A's. First pitch is a strike. Pitch number 2 is a strike. Quick 0-2 hole here for the batter. Looks like that is a new batter. We will get his name in a moment. Chopped foul. That looked like that hurt Edens. He might have to take a breather. Hit him in the top of the shoulder. Well, that is not a number I have on the roster, I don't believe, unless this 24 is a 27. That's how it looks. If it is, that would be Croce that's up to bat. Quick discussion with the head home plate umpire with Dylan Whiteman. That is just to buy Edens time to make sure he's doing all right. Whiteman breaks in a pitch on the outside part of the plate. That is a backdoor slider for out number 1. Another pinch hitter here for the Force. It is number 22. To be honest, not too sure how to pronounce this last name, but we're going to give it the old college try, as they say. Galtiotti, I would believe that's how you would say that. 1-0 pitch upstairs for 2-0. Whiteman's 2-0 pitch gets back in with a strike. Swing and a miss. Whiteman gets back from 2-0 to 2-2. When I get a chance, we'll calculate the numbers here for Casas' day on the mound. This one's fouled straight back to the screen. Do it again on 2-2. Yet another strike, 3-4. Whiteman back-to-back Ks. That one looking 2 down. All right, so 2 down. New batter digging in here for the Force. It was due to be Hisayo. I do believe this is yet another pinch hitter. No, perhaps not. I thought I heard 1-5 from the dugout, but it might just be number 5, which would be Hisayo. Yes, it is. So he remains in the game. It's a 1-1 count for him. Taking a peek at Casas' day, he went 5 innings, giving up 5 hits, 2 runs, none of them earned. Ironically, both the errors were on him, but still doesn't count as earned runs, and 4 strikeouts to 1 walk. Hisayo is down 1-2 in this count. Whiteman looking for a punch-out pitch for a 1-2-3 inning. Bounces it in the dirt, 2-2.
City. Look out.
Whiteman's 2-2 pitch. Slider tries to break it in there. No go. Full count. Payoff pitch for Whiteman on the way. Fouled into the stands. It's going to mention nice crowd for our standards at Chickchansey tonight. Nice to see people coming out to the ballpark, especially on a Tuesday night. Always appreciate the support. Full count on the way. Whoa, paints a slider outside, but doesn't get the call. Ball 4. So that is a number 15 actually on base. I do not have him on my players sheet for the Force, so that is, for all intents and purposes, John Smith or John Doe at first base. This one hit to shallow right field. Aiden Perry able to track it down for out number 3. So Whiteman comes in, gives up a 2-out walk, but no harm. Strikes out 2 in the top of the 6th. A's still cruising here, 13-2. First pitch of this bottom of the 6th is hammered by Aiden Perry off the wall. He's going for 2. And another extra base hit for the A's. 1 pitch, 2 bases for Perry, starting things off the right way for the A's. It's hard to describe what the A's are doing out here tonight, folks, besides holy smokes. That's about all I could say. We've seen him score big. We've seen him hit a lot this year, but 9 extra base hits out of your 12 hits is just absurd stuff. First pitch fouled in the stands, 0-1 for the new batter, Brian Sanders. He'll be taking over for Luke Navad. Bummer to see him not have a chance for the cycle. He had a single, double, and triple, all 3 of those hits resulting in RBIs, but nonetheless, that does not take away from his phenomenal night at the plate, and we'll be excited to see if Brian Sanders can join in on the fun here. But he is down in the hole, 0-2. This one spoiled foul. Swing and a miss on that one. Sanders down on strikes, 1 down. And that will bring up Isaac Fernandez. Another pinch hitter coming up to the plate. Looks like both coaches are electing to empty the benches at this point, with the game being as far away as it is. So Luke Green's night is done. Isaac Fernandez is just getting started. And yes, he is. That's hit through the 5-6 hole. That's a base hit. Aiden Perry's going to stay put at third. Throw gets away. Catcher has to block it, and that'll keep Fernandez at first base. But first pitch he sees of his night is a base hit. Joining in on the fun. Runners at the corners, one down. Hayes Eden's coming up for his second at-bat. Eden's walked his first time up, did score. This one's fouled to the screen. This one fouled off of the mask. Catcher's going to give Mackey a minute to catch his breath and make sure all is good. Oh, 2 hole here for Hayes Edens. Beautiful night at the ballpark. A's are in a delightful mood, of course, with how this game went, but also just that golden hour light on the buildings is just a thing of beauty. Last pitch was a ball, so 1-2. Edens reaches out the bat to spoil off that 2-strike pitch. One, two to Edens is a flare shot out to right field. It's going to hang up for an out, but that is going to bring in Aiden Perry to score. 14-2 A's.
Now batting number 4.
That'll go down as a sac fly RBI for Edens as Perry comes in to score. First pitch to Miller, taken for a ball. Miller had a double to lead things off for the A's in the first inning, has scored once. Also has 2 sacrifice fly RBIs. So that would make it 1 for 2 on the day, as nowadays sacrifice flies do not count as an at-bat. 1-1 count on the way, or pitch on the way, swung on and missed. 1-2. One and two, sliced at hard and heavy, but foul into the screen. One, two, chopped up the middle. It gets through for a base hit. Looked like the shortstop and the second baseman didn't know who wanted to go for the ball and who wanted to cover second. So that very well could have been the end of the inning, but instead it ends up being a single for Tyson Miller. Runners at first and second. And Scott Mitchell coming in now, pinch hitting for Mikey Ramirez. So Ramirez's day is done, but what a great one it was. 3 hits for him, 1 single, 2 doubles, 2 RBI doubles as a matter of fact, and he scored twice. First pitch to Scott Mitchell is a ball, 1-0. Ethan Wood does remain in the game for the moment. He's on deck. That ball is hit foul by Mitchell, 1-1. Looking to pull Mitchell's stats up here real quick. Pitch is taken for a ball, 2-1. Mitchell, 16 games played. Batting average has taken a bit of a dip recently, but still good, 304. Takes that one for a ball, so 3-1 is the count. Able to work 10 walks as well, 12 RBIs, and has scored 14 times on the year. And there's another walk for him on the year. That is a 5-pitch walk, and bases are juiced, but to the Force's benefit, there is 2 outs, so plenty of opportunities to report an out on a ball in play, but also dangerous grounds for the game to get even uglier for them. Lefty versus lefty matchup here. Ethan Wood hits a flare shot into center field, left center. That's a base hit. Here comes Isaac Fernandez to score. Tyson Miller comes in to score. Scott Mitchell will be at third. Ball gets away from the catcher. Scott Mitchell is running home. That's another run in. And Ethan Wood will advance to third. And just as I mentioned, potential for it to get ugly here, it does. 3 runs come in to score on that 2 RBI double. I don't think that's going to count as 3 because the run came in to score on an errant throw. But Ethan Wood continues his great night. Pretty much everybody's having a great night at this point. Holy smokes, it has been a challenge to keep up with the scoring in this ball game. Not mentioning the literal scoring on the scoreboard, but my scorebook next to me. My goodness. George Smith is now up 0-1 the count to him. Pitch upstairs and away. 1-1. Let's update the bases. There we go. Only Ethan Wood remains. He's at third. Fouled into the seats. 1-2. So it looks like the only person not to record a base hit at this point, well, we'll call it the only order in the lineup, is the 5 spot. And that would be Jake Maynard. He's on deck. But Parker Cristall led things off here. He struck out, walked, and grounded out to third. But he exited the game with, I do believe, some sort of injury. I don't believe anything serious. I don't want to speculate, but it was just precautionary for him to leave the game. That one's fouled into the screen, 2-2. So this lead has ballooned to 17-2 at this point. Fouled out of play. It's pretty crazy, actually, too. 17-2. I mean, insane amount of runs on the board, but somehow this game has had a quicker pace than some games I've called this season, such as like last week. There was one instance where we had a 40-minute inning, and then there was an instance where it took over an hour to record 2 innings of work, and we are in close to 6 complete innings with 2 hours of game time. So very bizarre game all around. George Smith hits this up the middle. That's a base hit. RBI as Ethan Wood comes in to score. 18-2 A's. Already talked about the mess that my scorebook has become, but yeah, it's going to be really hard to decipher stuff going on. Jake Maynard wildly swings and misses, loses his balance, 0-1 the count. We're seeing just about everything in this game at this point. It's been incredibly entertaining. That pitch on the outside corner for a strike, 0-2. So second at bat for Maynard, second time he's gotten down 0-2. Looking to make it that all of the batters in the order hit in regards to their lineup positioning. But infield umpire says that Maynard went around and swung, could not check his swing. So that is 2 3-pitch strikeouts for Maynard in this game, and that ends the inning. But the A's bat through the order in back-to-back innings, put up 5 runs yet again, and they're up massively 18-2 as we go to the top of the 7th. We will see if Mercy Rule is in order after this top of the 7th. All right, a little delay going on here as we're starting the top of the 7th. There's conversation going on with the umpires and the Force head coach. And Coach Wyatt Featherston was going down to the bullpen. Looks like we might be trying to figure out whether we're done with the game or if we might be done after this top of the 7th inning, unless we're playing unless the Force come up with an absurd amount of runs in this inning to get it under 10 runs. That first pitch is a ball. New pitcher on the mound is Duncan DeLange for the A's. So Whiteman only goes 1 inning, an effective one though. 2 strikeouts, did walk 1. 1-1 count now for DeLange on the mound. Leadoff hitter was scheduled to be Garcia. We'll wait and see if that still is the hitter. Trying to get a peek at his number. That pitch drops in for a strike, 1-2. Gets him on the outside corner, strike 3. And that was certainly a pinch hitter there. Ibarra came in for Garcia, and he is strikeout victim number 1 of DeLange's outing. So in comes the catcher, Mackey. Pitch on the outside part of the plate, strike 1. Good start here for DeLange on the mound. It was a rough outing for him last time out. Ended up walking 5 out of 6 batters at one point in that outing. It's a young man that just graduated high school, but he has some impressive velocity already for his young age and good stuff in general. 1-1 is the count now to Mackey. DeLange breaks in the curveball, top of the zone, 1-2. DeLange's 1-2. Oh, great location, low and outside, but doesn't get the call. 2-2. Tries outside again. This one misses, and the count rolls full, 3-2. There is somebody warming up in the bullpen for the A's, but it could just be honestly loosening up the arm and just throwing some sort of scheduled bullpen if the mercy rule's in effect. That is a full count and a walk now for Mackey. He'll take first base with the top of the lineup coming up. Go ahead and
Now at number 3, Ethan King.
got a little bit of intel here from some A's player, not 100% guaranteed, but just about who's warming up in the bullpen. That is Ryan Weller, and there could potentially be some live ABs in store for after this game. But yeah, we most certainly won't be seeing Weller in this game. That ball goes behind the batter's legs and skips quickly off the backstop, but Mackey's still able to get to second base off of the wild pitch. 1-1 is the count. This one hit up the middle. It's slicing and drops in for a base hit. Mackey gets to third on that, and that is a base hit for King. Left fielder Avila coming up now with one down, and the Force just looking for any sort of good momentum. This might be it. Avila looks like he has left the ballpark. He most certainly has. That is the first opposition home run we've seen at Chachansey Park this season. This game is still not going to go down in the win column, most likely for the Force, but that is something to be happy about. Avila knocks a 3-run homer out of this ballpark in the left field bleachers, so that'll make it 18-5.
Hey, can we put first on the field wall?
Well, just when I think I've seen just about everything in this game, something else happens. Home run. 3-run home run.
It barely got out.
So DeLange will look to get reset here against the DH King. This 1-0 is hit well out to right field, but it's a high pop-up, and that is going to be caught for out number 2.
So it's probably 365. Probably 365, like, but like it, probably like a
First pitch is skied high in the infield. George Smith settling over under it. He's got it for out number 3. And just waiting to see what the decision is here on the game. That was out number 3, so that's the end of the top of the 7th. Looks like I'm seeing the signal for no more ball game. Looks like we're done, but waiting to confirm that. Yeah, A's were just out on defense, and now they got a bunch of people coming on the field. So that looks to be ball game, folks. A's win big time in this one to start out this week of action. 18-5 A's in this one. 18 runs, 16 hits, 2 errors, and the runs looked like this: 0 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 5 in the fifth, and 5 in the sixth. Just an incredible amount of extra base hits today. Haven't crunched the numbers quite yet, but I do believe it is double-digit extra base hits out of those 16 hits, which is phenomenal work from them on offense. And not only that, even when they weren't getting hits, good baseball, moving runners over, sacrifice flies, sacrifice groundouts, just good fundamental baseball. offensively in this one. So A's moved to 21-6 on the season. We have one more game against the Bay Area Force tomorrow. That'll be at 6 p.m. yet again. And then after that, we will be heading up to Medford. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in for this one. And we will hopefully see you tomorrow night at the same time. We'll see you then.